Welcome to Tube Talk, where I'll be interviewing either virtually or in person content creators in the hope to learn more about the people that we subscribe to and we follow on YouTube.
So I'm on my way to go and catch up with my next guest, who I met at the last four-wheel drive camping show in Perth. And very impressed with this fella because I had no intentions of buying anything at the four-wheel drive show. Ended up buying one of those flippy floppy fold away seats that you fold down to almost nothing. And what this guy didn't know about this seat was not worth knowing. Anyway, we ended up going to his shop in Balcatta, where we had no intentions of buying a self-inflating mattress, and two inflating mattresses later, a little flippy floppy foldy uppy table, and almost $600. We walked out very, very happy that we got to meet my next guest. This next guest, he's worked in a bank, he's been an international sales manager, he's now an entrepreneur. Let's go and meet Azza from Go Camping and Overlanding.
So, as I said in my intro, met this bloke at a four-wheel drive show, ended up buying two chairs, which I had no intentions of buying when we walked into the four-wheel drive show, and then ended up visiting your shop under the direction of my wife, and we spent nearly $600 on...
It's very clever. It's very smart, you are.
So, Azza, welcome to Tube Talk.
Thanks, Paul.
It's taken us, I'm going to say, probably 6 months to get here, but due to one reason or another, we're finally here, and thanks for giving me some of your time, brother.
Cheers, mate.
So, it's with full disclosure, I tell you that I'm a bit older than you. I think we discussed that.
Well, yeah, a little bit, not much.
Not much. So my memory is not as good as it used to be. So I've actually got questions written down. So if I look down...
Is there answers there for me as well?
If I look down, I apologise up front. But it's the only way to sort of remember the points that I...
Fair enough. You're very organised.
Thank you.
You're very organised.
Thank you,
I was impressed by your raft of draft comments.
So straight off the bat, brother, are you a West Aussie or where do you come from?
Yep, so I'm not West Australian birth. I was born in Albury in New South Wales.
So you're a cockroach?
Cockroach, but that was by virtue of the fact that my mum and dad were doing, I guess back in the 60s, what still exists today, and that was a big lap. Dad actually is a 10-pound pom. Mum was born in the West. She was born in Wongan Hills. Her dad was in the railways. So she went Wongan Hills, I think, Katanning, Bridgetown. There was all those towns, but ended up in Waroona, and I think she was the head girl of Waroona Senior High School back in the day, in the early 60s. Then so she was on a big lap going one way. Dad came from the UK, and he went to he landed in Freo for a day, but then the boat went on to Melbourne and he was booked through. He got himself an old Holden, I can't remember the model now, but he ended up coming back across and then headed all the way across the top end, all before paved roads or anything like that. Yeah, really adventurous. I got some old slides that I go through every now and again.
Cool.
Of him doing stuff, and he took years to do it, and I think they met like 2 years later in Green Island in Cairns, and then moved to Melbourne, got married, had my older brother in Yarrawonga in Victoria, had me in Albury. So it was sort of just by where they were getting jobs at the time. But I mean, Mum was always going to come home to WA, so I call myself a West Australian.
We'll call you local now.
Call me local.
What about Curl?
So parents again were moving around the state a bit. Her dad was in the police, and so she was born out in Kalgoorlie, and then but both of us ended up in Perth, where I guess family settled down. She's just up the road here in Warwick, which is not far from the shop here in Balcatta, and I'm a southern river person. I'm from Cannington.
Isn't it funny how Perth, like you either come from the north or the south?
It's a big divider.
Yeah, bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, how did you actually meet Curls? Is it Curls or Curl?
Well, Curl is her nickname. Veronica's her real name.
Yeah, no S.
No S in the end. Her dad named her because when she was young she used to do a bit of dancing, you know, and whatnot. So she had her hair in curlers, and just Curl, and it stuck as a family name. When I first met her, I was introduced, this is Curl. And so we met. I was actually, and you're going to laugh about this, I was playing in a band with her brothers. So she's got two brothers, one's a drummer, one plays saxophone, and I was playing guitar.
Acoustic or electric?
Electric. Putting on a bit of a show at the, what was it, the Red Rock, I think it was in Claremont at the time. And so I met her brothers, like, probably even a year before. I don't think so. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Okay.
No, we put on quite we're entertainers. And anyway, so I met her that night, and yeah, we got on well, and so got married soon thereafter. That was in 20-something years ago already.
Wow.
Mm.
And those that don't know, you actually work with your wife.
Correct.
And this is something we've got in common because I work with my wife. And some might look at us or watch this and go, man, there must be some serious challenges in that.
Yeah. Well,
what's it like with you and you and Curl?
So ours is pretty. We've got 4 full-time people here in the business, and all of us have a little bit of something different to do, but we all have similar jobs. So no one really there's no manager or anything like that. And so Curl's got her roles, her brands that she looks after. I've got mine that I look after. Amalia's got hers. Chris has got his, and we all sort of just work on a bit of a pancake. So really, I have the same amount to do with Curl as I do with the other staff members. So it's not really I wouldn't say a challenge or anything like that. We walk into the shop and Curl goes to that desk, or that part of the shop I sit out in a little office out the back quite a lot. And yeah.
Ironically, where we are, out the back in a sea container.
Yeah.
Or near a sea container.
Yeah, we're in a little sea container office that some people know about. But yeah, so I actually don't find it a challenge or a struggle or anything, because we don't really see each other a lot during the day. And then we quite often drive separately because one of us has got something to do. My job's not just in the shop, for example. I'm out and about. I might be visiting suppliers, and I guess I've been in the outdoor industry, you might even have this as a question, but for 27 years now. And so my establishment, I guess, in what the shop is probably, the most senior by a long shot. So I might be out visiting a supplier.
Yep. Is there much pillow talk? Do you guys take your work home?
Not really. No.
Oh, well done.
Not really, because there is. It's inevitable. More often than not, it's talking about where we're going to holiday or what next.
No.
How are we going to use the gear to go travelling?
Not past the salt. How many mattresses did you sell?
Yeah, no. It's not. No, it's. It was a good day. It was a bad day. It was all pretty. Yeah, it's all pretty. All pretty civil.
So you just touched on the business. So take me through not the whole story, because it's pretty long, and it's a long story, and we've only got 30 or 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So in the short version,
okay,
the history of this business and how you got involved, because when we met and we talked about doing this, and then you said, "Oh, did you see the podcast on Backchat?"
Mm.
And I hadn't at the time.
Okay.
I'm here to tell you, I found your journey fascinating.
Yeah.
But we got lots more questions, so
I
think it's a great journey.
I'll go quick then. So
don't speak quick.
Yeah, I left school before year 12 because I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't like. All I wanted to do actually was go to the country, and so back in the 80s, it was easy to get into the bank. So I joined the Rural and Industries Bank.
R&I Bank.
R&I Bank, and as soon as I could, got out of Perth and went to Albany. And then it was just a journey in the bank. It was a lot of not trying to be in a branch or working in a bank. It was trying to, get away and do things. In the mid-90s, I knew I really didn't ever like working in the bank, but I got this job where I met these friends who were in the bank on similar trajectories, and they were into rock climbing. So that was my first foray into the outdoor industry.
Yeah, wow.
And one day, I quit the bank and don't know what I was going to do. And in the old days, scrolling through the West Australian newspaper, and I saw an advert for this outdoor store called Main Peak, and I said there was 5 guys around, I said, that job's mine. It was the hardest job interview I had to go for. I mean, to get into a retail store nowadays is not so hard. Back then, I'd had to do 3 interviews and all the rest of it. Anyway, they liked the fact I'd actually been responsible in a bank. So went into the outdoor industry there. Did about 8 years in a shop, and then I'd known a Perth company called Sea to Summit, who's sort of done all right nowadays.
Hang on, stop. Is Sea to Summit a Perth-based business?
Yeah. So the owners, all owners were sort of Fremantle-based to roundabout, but yeah. Head office still to this day is in Perth. That will change, but anyway, I knew them through the shop. We used to buy things from them, and they rang me up one day, said, "Oh, you got to come to the pub for an interview." So it was very, very, very simple interview. And it was like, okay, and they're like, "Oh, we want you to run our global business for us," and like, I think they used the word international sales or something like that. And I said, "Well, the only problem is I don't know how to do international sales." And their answer, I remember, it was a classic. They said, "That's okay, neither do we. We'll learn together." And they gave me a lot of autonomy to learn, make mistakes, and just do what I wanted with what was a very small amount of international business. And I learned all manners of that business: sales, sourcing, design, you name it. I had a bit of a hand in all of it for almost a decade. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then I just had a moment where I just was sick of spreadsheets and all the rest of things that make you get a bit bored with your job. And so then I literally left again, and that's when the Red Roads brand started. Like literally the day after I left, I started our own little brand, which we'll talk about maybe a bit more. And then by just, I guess, process of life, here we are in a shop as well.
But how did the shop come about? How did Go Camping Balcatta come about?
So there was been a shop here for years before us, and it was more of like, I describe it as an army surplus or I've been to all these shops around the world. I can categorise them pretty easily. It wasn't a shop that I would have bought or anything. So they were going out of business, closing down. So I'd been selling some stuff to them through Red Roads. It was like not many independent shops in Australia, let alone Perth. So I was selling some goods to them, and then they were like, "Oh, can you come and get your goods? We're closing down." And oh yeah, okay, no big deal to me. And I was like, "What are you going to do with the property?" And I knew that they had actually bought this property. And they said, "I will just have to lease it out, I guess." And I said, "Well, if you can get all your stuff out of here, please, I'll take the lease on. And I don't want the property. I don't want the business because you're obviously closing down for a reason." And so I, in about 5 years ago, it was actually last week, got the keys for an empty shell of a building.
5 years ago, did you say?
Last week, yeah. And
happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Did you have a cake?
We did, numerous. we had a great week, and thanks to anyone who came by. It was great. And you might as well have fun, right?
Exactly right.
So so half of it was I just needed warehouse space more than anything.
Yeah.
And then I was like, if we're gonna have to, if I got warehouse space, why not chuck a few things in the front, and that's how it started. But I also knew that pretty quickly that if I was going to be somewhere, why not be there quite regularly, like every day of the week, and make it good. And then I started thinking about some of the great outdoor shops I'd seen in my 20 years prior.
Yeah, travelling and stuff.
And so I came up with a whole blend of shops that I really liked the idea, and I thought, right, straight in with this. Let's do something that Perth's never seen, and Australia, I've got to be honest, probably has never seen.
Is it that unique?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
This place is that unique?
Yeah. Knowing the industry, I can say quite solidly.
Hand on heart.
Pretty, yeah. I know how literally all the other competitors in Australia and how the challenges of it. Australia's a very challenging market. It's really run by 2 or 3 big shops and 2 or 3 big brands. It's a bit boring, quite frankly. So I want it to be a non-boring shop. And
mate, we're an advocate. Yeah.
When you're your own business, you can start doing what you want and not get told off for it. Especially when you're a one-man show, which I was for the first months of opening. What
did Curl do before she joined you in this business?
She worked in for a good solid decade and a half wholesale of health and health food and things like that. Yeah, like nature, organics and things like that.
So one of my questions is, I think you've kind of answered who or why or what inspired you to do this. Do you think you've covered that? I mean, do you want to maybe I think better articulate that answer?
I'm a bit of a rebel, and I don't like the status quo.
Yeah.
I like to disrupt a little bit, and I knew that I knew from going to all these trade shows and travelling how many brands were out there that weren't being covered in Australia, or if they were, it was only in pockets, and it wasn't. I was like, oh, such a great brand. Why isn't it available for sale? Rough Wearers, say, I've just one that comes to my mind. It's a doggy brand, and I knew the owner of the company from my time.
Wow.
And I was like, we had a dog. I was like, get Rough Wear in. I knew the importer of it into Australia. He had no one over here doing it, and so now we've got a whole wall of dog products, for example, for the outdoors, and have dog visitors every day.
And is it a lucrative range?
I mean, it's a tricky market. I wouldn't say anything's overly lucrative. Just because I'm a rebel doesn't mean I'm smart. I think sometimes it stands in my way. I mean, I don't think many people join this industry or are in this industry primarily for the money. They're in it because you can make it into a great lifestyle. You're surrounding yourself with the product, and that's what I wanted to do. It's even the Red Roads product, which
straight into the next question.
Oh, hello.
Yes,
well,
hello.
That was started because...
Take us on that journey.
I know that so many brands are making products with redundancy inbuilt. They want it to break and fall apart so that you buy another one. And I'm just like, really? Whereas I remember I wrote in a few things down. Obviously, I'm not a major business plan or anything, but I wrote down something. I think it was like Granddad's old tool roll. So back in the 30s and 40s, there was no synthetics being made to make product, and synthetics are held together differently than canvases. And I was like, why don't we just make stuff out of canvas? I mean, there's many reasons why you don't. Don't get me wrong. There's many reasons why you don't. But I was like, but I want to. I want Red Roads
the
to
rebel
be.
in you.
Yeah, like, come on, let's do it. I mean, it's the most expensive material. It's more expensive than Gore-Tex.
Does Red Roads have lots of competitors in this canvas? So Red Roads is a canvas storage space, is that right? Like a.
So we started.
I'll put it up on
We started as this. I guess the mantra is like, going off grid.
Yep.
Being self-reliant. So you want product that works and lasts. So the whole Red Roads range is products that are a bit over-engineered rather than under-engineered. They're made to last. And so, the canvas range, there are people doing it. There weren't many people doing it in Australia when I started, I guess. It's a bit more common now. But again, I'll grab a product, and I'm pretty fair about anything, but I get this. There's these brands out there that just get cult status, and you give me the product and I go like, are they joking? They're charging the same amount of money I'm charging.
Yeah.
And I would have put that in the fail bin as a reject in my manufacturing.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
And so there's other people doing it. Whether they're doing it for the right reasons, the same reason, who knows? And that's not for me to decide, that's for the consumer. Big thing is I really want to educate as well, the consumer, get people learning it, the product.
So it started 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was. It would have been 2014.
How many SKUs you got? How many products in the Red Road range?
Jeez.
Red
Roads range.
Yeah.
Or the Red range. I
Try that after 6 beers.
I would say somewhere between 20 and 40. I actually don't know. Maybe more, maybe less. No, I haven't done the count in a while, and it changes, because a SKU. You know what a SKU stands for?
No, it's just an acronym for lots of little numbers.
Stock keeping unit is a SKU, SKU, right? And a SKU.
I actually did know that.
Did you? Yeah, yes. But the best way to think of a SKU is every single product that you can attribute a product code to needs its own prong. Think of it like that.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you have 5 colours in one size, you have 5 SKUs.
Correct.
So my SKUs change because the way I do my canvas is that I can't always get the same colour. So I've got a bit of a deal to get canvas that we can cut around. So it's a bit cheaper to make. We can get rid of flaws in canvas by cutting around it. But I might get offered a sandy taupe one day and I can't get it the next day type of thing, if that makes sense. So,
what's the most popular Red Road?
Red Road product?
What's the most popular Red Road product?
Red Road product. Look, it's fire. The fire cooking range, I'd say, would be
the fire cooking range.
Yeah,
that's important, though, right?
Yes. Yeah. But we evolved a couple of products. We designed a couple of products. So yeah.
Did Harry give you any help?
Harry is always a massive help. He's a great bloke. Yeah, we actually made Harry one of our tripods. That was, I don't know, he would remember like 12 feet tall or something, just for a laugh.
Was that about a year ago, 18 months ago?
Been, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, great guy, great supporter of ours. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. One of my favourite YouTubers, definitely.
Oh, okay.
If you're watching, he's too busy to watch.
He's too busy working 9 days a week.
Yeah.
I chatted to him at the 4-wheel drive show. Smashing fella.
He's great.
So, just close this question out. What is the most popular product? You said range. Is there one fast-moving product that if you want a red road product, what is the most popular product?
I actually think it's too tricky to answer.
Do you want to take that on notice?
I reckon it's...
Do you know what? Because by the time I actually edit this, I'm going to put that product on the bottom here because you're going to go back and look at it.
We're coming into winter.
Yes.
Right, so we're coming into winter and we're on the verge of campfire season. Campfires to me is cooking.
Yep.
And our tripod...
Your tripod?
...is a fantastic cooking implement. It goes... You can use it on...
It's like a favourite. Sounds like a favourite of yours.
It's a favourite as well as, 100%. Yep. So the Red Road's tripod. Stainless steel, collapsible, so it ticks... Like when I'm designing a product,
again, that'll be
products,
on the bottom. It might be over that side, in the middle. We'll put in the middle.
Just in the
middle there.
And there's back in my Cedar Summit days, I learned a lot about how you design a product. But one of the things, I don't tow a van, so I don't have endless space. So things have to be compact. They have to be durable.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to fail. That's why I use canvas. And so they're the two things that we really think about. So the tripod, which sits at 6 foot, compacts down into 70 centimetre bag.
Oh, fair dinkum.
And so it's easy to carry.
Is that the tripod things that people hang tomahawk steaks off and stuff?
That's the one, yeah.
And, okay, wow.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned before, we might be looking for one of those. So maybe you can give me a discount.
I know a shop.
You know a shop?
I know a shop.
Let's keep focusing on the Red Road product and how you come up with the name's got its own little story. Driving along Red Road, I'd say driving on a red road, that sounds like a good name.
Yeah.
Or brand.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Isn't that how some of these things start?
Yeah, absolutely. Have you got any new product on the market for this year? Or in development? Or you can give us a...
Yes, but no. Yes, but no. No, there's no exclusive for you today, sorry, mate.
Nothing. Nothing new.
Nothing new.
Are your arms crossed because you're crossing your arms because you don't want to tell anybody?
I'm telling I'm holding
you
it secret.
You do actually have a new product in development.
So we're doing we're going to branch. Nothing ever stays the same. Evolution is a beautiful thing, right? When we first started our canvas making, we were doing it offshore at a friend's factory in Vietnam, and we hope to go back there this year and continue that legacy. At the moment, we're making here in Australia.
Yeah.
We'll continue making in Australia.
Yeah.
But new product will probably come from Vietnam. And people ask, it's so shame that Australian manufacturing is disappearing. Well, people need to be willing to pay a lot more for the labour rates.
Yeah.
But more than anything, and again, through manufacturing knowledge, the ability to be able to make stuff offshore where they've got their primary focus is manufacturing, especially soft goods, means that you can have 5 sewing machines set up, and the item goes through 5 different processes, and you end up with a better product. Simple as that.
Simple as that, yeah.
It may not be made in Australia, but it is a better product. Now you can still control the quality of materials and everything. It's just where it's being made.
Yeah.
Because they've set it up. In Australia, we don't set up for that soft good manufacturing anymore because we have so many more industries that are more lucrative. Tourism, anything like that. So that's why we do a little bit here, but we can do more offshore, we can do it better, and we can either decide if we want to do it for a lesser price or a higher price. That is yet to be determined. But I've got a couple of ideas of things that I like. And
give us one idea.
I think if you've got a question coming up about, about something or other, I've got an answer for it.
All right.
We'll come back to that one.
All right. So, you're an entrepreneur. You're a businessman.
I hate the word, but go
okay. Now, I come from a bit of a business background, so I'm really interested to learn, and I continue to enjoy learning about small business, SME, small to medium enterprise.
Yep.
I think it's fair to say that's what you probably are.
Well, if you want to be exact, we're a micro business.
Okay. So tell me a bit about your business, mate. So what's the toughest thing about being in business, do you think?
The toughest thing, Australia has some really bizarre retail laws, functions. And again, I'm coming from a global perspective on this. America's probably the most advanced, or one of the more advanced. Japan would be very advanced. Asian countries very advanced, where there's a respect for everyone across all ways of something getting to market, a product getting to market. In Australia, retail is hard. It's decimated by some certain players who play to the shareholder, really. Ultimately they want to make the sale with the largest margin, the least responsibility. So online retail in Australia is really tricky. There's laws being broken every day where there is no way of controlling it. And that affects us because people walk in to our store expecting us potentially to be online price. But you're not walking into an online store. You can't touch it. You can't feel it. You can't ask someone like me, who might have even helped design the product, why is that a good product. And so I think there's a few stores out there whose name I don't need to mention, but they really want me to do all the work, but them to get the sale, and me to be on the verge of bankruptcy. That's the best way I describe it to anyone in business.
How do we articulate that? What's the toughest thing in business?
I think there's two things. One is it should be a fair playing field for everyone. And secondly, consumers should be educated and responsible in the way that they support whoever they want to support. I've got no problem with people buying online.
Yep.
I buy online. You buy online. Everyone buys online.
Yep.
But I also will walk into a shop and go like, if you can give me service, if you can give me something in return, I'm going to give you more than the person who's willing to sell it for the lowest price.
So almost getting an authentic return on investment of your time.
That's a good way of putting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you won't ring up a plumber and say, mate, can you come out and solve all my problems? And then say, actually, I'm right, and then go and do it yourself. Like the plumber will come out and fix it, and you'll pay for it.
I wish we could articulate that, but I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And part of it is that if you're going to walk into a shop as a consumer, be prepared and be willing to pay. Be willing to pay for their rent, part of their rent, your part of the rent that day that you came.
You're quite passionate about this, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I get. It annoys me that it can't be. It's so uncontrolled in Australia, and I think probably a lot of people get a bit passionate about it. The weakness of some of the departments that are meant to control it.
Yeah.
It gets lost in bureaucracy. I
was going to use the word bureaucracy. Yeah.
I've rung the ACCC about a product issue where.
Good luck with that.
I got the most wettest answer I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And since that day, I thought, well, there's no point in me chasing that way. So, I mean, I'm pretty passionate about it because I don't expect to be a multi-millionaire or even a millionaire or even rich out of doing this. I want to be engaged.
You're driving a nice car.
I got a nice car. That's
got a rooftop tent.
Yeah, it's a very nice roof tent as well. But again, that's all part of the benefit of being in small business. I want to be able to pay my staff, and I want to be able to pay the rent, and I need to earn obviously a profit to do that. But you wouldn't believe some of the margins that are being thrown around. I don't know if you want to explain what margins are, but basically. Just because a product is selling for $1,000, it doesn't mean I buy it for $0. I buy it for $999 and there's $1 left over. Of course, that's a challenge when you then got to pay the rent, the power. We're in it coming out of a really hot summer. I've had the air conditioning going because I want my customers to be comfortable. Yeah. But every day it costs me $20 to run. You know what I mean?
Understand.
So there's all these little things I like, right. But that's all good. And we have an amazing amount of brilliant customers. They are absolutely unbelievable.
I've actually got a question how you retain those. So can I just put a pin in that and come back to it?
Yeah, sure.
Because my next question is, not necessarily your Cedar Summit days, but 5 years in go camping, overlanding, you would have made some mistakes. What's the biggest mistake you've made that you want to declare to your clients?
Oh, I think I've made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, there's always one belter that stands out.
One belter that stands out. Actually,
that you've got the scar for.
Yeah,
that's a good scar.
It's a good scar. Oh,
because people think running a business is easy, right?
There's a great podcast that I listen to every now and again called How I Built This, and it's an American-based one by their NPR, which is the equivalent of our ABC. So it's pretty even Stevens, but the best of those interviews talk about how they failed. Some of them catastrophically.
Yeah.
I think I don't think I've made anything that stands out, and to me that's just like wow. Because I'm still here and I'm still opening the door and still happy about it. I don't think I've made anything that's absolutely crucial.
A bad buying choice? Strategically aligning yourself with a...
Yeah, there's been a couple of brands that have been total flops.
Pretty average, yeah.
But you know what? I would not have known they'd been a total flop had I not engaged with them. And, this is really interesting. Some of the brands I get in are because some of the content creators and influencers who are using them. But it goes to show, it doesn't mean it's a great product.
Don't wind up Pete from Wacker about that.
I mean, but it's that's just business, is they're getting paid to use it. There's times, and you'll be able to tell when they're not getting paid and they're doing it for the content.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a brand of I'll just decide it was an awning brand I got in, and it was just, the product wasn't great. It was very expensive. We sat on it for a long time. It
didn't turn.
It was, there was money that I couldn't use to pay the power.
Yeah, I understand.
And then I had to go to the bank and borrow money
for dead stock.
Dead stock. So I think we all have things like that, and you learn. But I wouldn't have known that had I not bought the stuff. So nothing catastrophic yet.
Okay.
And hopefully, knock on wood, not.
Okay, mate. That's fair enough. Do you have you benchmarked your business on any other businesses, either internationally or in Australia? If you know what I mean by that. Look to the business and go, they do a bloody good job.
Yep.
They have great customer retention. It's a destination to go to. Is there anybody in Australia or in Europe, around the world, that you've benchmarked this business on?
I think there's some retail stores that we don't get to see in Australia that I went to and I had a really good experience. They might just be neat and tidy stores, and they might have great lighting or something. America, is a way easier place to do business than Australia, for example. So many little stores can survive and be really, really different. Then there's huge stores there as well that are really different. There's one...
You should be in politics, mate. Give me a straight answer.
So there's this couple of places. Hook and Bullet is a division in America. It's called Hook and Bullet. And we're going to be interrupted by a truck.
It's okay. It's all natural.
Yeah, exactly. The Hook and Bullet stores are destinations. They're not in the centre of the city. People travel to them for a weekend.
Hook and Bullet.
Hook and Bullet.
I'll put the link up.
Fishing and shooting or hunting.
Yeah.
It's a big industry over there, right? And so Hook and Bullet stores, people would go to for a whole weekend. There's restaurants in there.
Fair dinkum.
You can stay there. It's accommodation there. You can go fishing. You can go shooting in the shooting range and all the rest of that.
Is there an overlanding camping equivalent? If there isn't...
Yeah, it should be over there, really. Look, no, I'd say...
Opportunity for a bright young
yes
lad.
and no, but it's done differently. So in terms of what Australian overlanding is versus US overlanding, I'm probably trying to bring a little bit of the US overlanding here while retaining a bit of our Australian harder overlanding. Our overlanding is so hard compared to theirs. I went out to Israelite Bay the other day. You drive for 12 hours to get there. It costs most 5 states in America before you know it.
What do you love about being in business? I don't know the answer.
Yeah, it's autonomy. It's being able to make your own decisions and you suffer the consequences or the wins. And it's part of the fun of it is making, again, go back to that, have I made any crucial mistakes? I don't think so, because I'm still here. And this is all part of it. You learn, you go like, I won't do that again. So I like the fact that you can back yourself in business.
Autonomy.
The autonomy. I mean, I've had some customers come into the shop who were total reptiles, and I've escorted them out the door and said, and they've gone, as you'd expect, give me a 1-star review for their efforts. And I mean, I love reading 1-star reviews, so I take enjoyment in responding to them.
Do you know how many reviews you got up on Google now?
It's not massive. 100, not even.
Can we tell that I notice? I'm going to put that up because, again, I've never actually. I'm a bit of a simple soul too, right? I've never taken a lot of time to review reviews, but my wife has educated me of recent times.
Yeah, right.
And I now do a lot of Google reviews.
1-star or 5-star?
5 both.
Both,
No,
yeah.
absolutely both.
Yeah.
But I
never do 3, 2, or 4. I just do 1-star or 5. But it's, I had one the other day with a guy. So my wife and I don't have children. Put a 1-star review because he came to the shop and one of my staff members served him, and he said, I want to speak to the owner's son. And so Amalia, I think it was, said, well, he doesn't have a son. And apparently he got really angry about it, stormed out and gave us a 1-star review. So I got on there and just like, dude, I don't have kids.
Get over yourself.
Get over yourself. Like, take your one. I mean, this is where people just come on.
Social media to the next level, mate.
I mean, I enjoy it in a certain way because I can answer it however I want.
Yeah.
And that's why I sort of one of the things that, I mean, hats off to anyone who works up on a mine site, FIFO.
Oh, thank goodness that truck's just gone.
He's off, the truck driver. There's the people who work away like that, they deserve to be paid stupidly well for what they're doing because they're also not able to be part of their normal world. I can be part of my normal world and tell people what to do, and I don't get paid anywhere near as much for it, but I get a lot of satisfaction out of it. Tonight I can go out, tomorrow night I can go out. So hats off to all your FIFO workers because it is actually, it's more than just the work they're doing, hours on the day.
I totally agree with you. So what we'll do now is, if it's okay by you, is we'll pack this camera up and we'll go inside because I've got some questions about some of your products.
Hey, now we're getting juicy.
Yeah, now we're getting juicy. So we'll do that.
Alrighty, see you in a minute.
All right, so we've walked into the store, and what Az is going to do now is talk about some products which is right in his wheelhouse. So, Az, the first question is, what's your favourite product you sell here and why?
Oh, it'd have to change every week, unfortunately, because we're trying to find new stuff.
This
week, come over this way. This little product here this week. So it's a folding flat fire pit / burner, operates on gas, or you can take the gas system out and just put charcoal or wood in there, but the whole thing folds flat into that bag.
Fair dinkum.
Yep, Stano. I've cooked on it a few times now, and especially at this time of year in summer when, or the end of summer when you can't light a fire, this thing gets a steak pretty top notch.
And
so I enjoy that.
And manufactured where?
Would be an imported product from China, but the gentleman who's built it, he's based over in Sydney.
Okay, and recommended retail?
So $3.19 plus the windshield plus the tongs, but yeah, $3.19 is the base product.
There we go. Right, Az, so what's the shop's most popular product? When we're talking SKUs,
Yep.
what product do you sell the most of?
It'd be a Red Roads product and probably our tripod. I'd say again our tripod.
Is a tripod on display?
Or a fire pit. Yeah, the tripod's over here.
Here we go. This is the Harry This is the Harry tripod.
Well, Harry certainly.
$149 the whole lot.
Crazy, isn't it? Well, that's
hang on, is it?
Not including the grill, not including what's under it. But the tripod itself and the chains, $149. Yeah.
And the grate that the bit of wood's on?
The bit of wood's on, which is 304 stainless, is another $70 odd.
All right, well, we'll take one of those. Thank you very much.
Sure.
I'm quite serious about that. All right, Azza, so your next product. This might be a bit of a bizarre question.
Sure.
But what's your most undervalued product in here?
Undervalued, so something that people don't necessarily see the value in.
Yeah.
I still think tents instead of swags.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of people are a bit obsessed with swags, but they're big and they're bulky. And again, I come from a hiking background a bit, so I'm a bit more of a, hey, take a tent. If you want to save space, if you've got a chimney or something, don't get a swag. Get a good tent.
Have you got your most popular or your favourite go-to tent?
I've got a new one in actually from Cedar
wow.
Summit just recently. Let's go and have a look
Let's
at it.
go. Yep. Is that there?
All right, so it doesn't have its fly on it at the moment, but this is a 3-person tent that I think I could, I mean, okay, I've got a bit of experience in doing it, but I think I could set this up almost blindfolded in less time, certainly, than I could set a swag up. It's the design of it's very, very clever. It's a lot of headroom in it. It's light. It'll fit anywhere in a car. And then you double it with a good sleeping bag of some type. Although the sleeping bag in there, 179 odd bucks for a double sleeping bag.
And the tent? How much is the tent?
The tent's about, we're doing it at the moment on a bit of a, hey, come and visit us price. That's 700 odd bucks. It's a couple of $100 off. And then a couple of mattresses, your choice between, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700. How much did you spend?
Oh, we spent too much on 2 mattresses.
But they're very comfortable.
However,
very comfortable.
They are. However, those mattresses are the bomb.
They are.
Oh, all right, Az. So, what's your most timeless piece in here?
So something that's been around for a long while.
Yeah.
Well, Jetboil. Probably actually the Nalgene bottle. So we do. This bottle has been around as a staple. In fact, so much is it photographed as a comparison product. Like if you went back in the last 30 years, Jetboil tents, sleeping bags, have all put a Nalgene bottle next to it. So there you go. That's my timeless piece. They're absolutely bomb-proof. Great bottle. And I'm guzzling water out of it all day at the moment because it's hot.
All right, so this question is for newbies, right? So
Okay.
This newbie just bought himself, or she's just bought herself, or they've just bought themselves a 4-wheel drive and they want to get into overlanding.
Mm-hmm.
3 products, they walk into this store
Mm-hmm.
that you convince them they must put into their vehicle before they go. What are those 3 products?
All right, do you want to go look at them?
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So I think it's an easy one. A first aid kit has to be number one, and also knowing how to use it. We use, this is a survival first aid kit, really nice family with similar to us, a really good story. But there's a lot of info on how to use the contents of this that's online.
Yep.
They'll teach you how to treat a snake bite, how to do CPR, anything, all online for free. And so, yeah, real and amazingly well made first aid kit.
Wow, okay, that's number 1.
So that's number 1.
Number 2 product, 4-wheel drive.
I'm going on 4-wheel drive.
We're going overlanding.
Over here we go.
Doesn't have to be for a 4-wheel drive, but
No.
a
One of my favourite products is this shovel.
for in the morning.
In the morning, in the afternoon. So this shovel is astonishingly good. It's made by a guy named Bert over in the Blue Mountains. Spotted gum Australian handles, stainless steel. So obviously in the morning, but it's amazing in fire for doing fire management.
Yeah.
What I like about it is that because the head it's quite a small head on it compared to a traditional shovel, that means you can get further away from the fire or further under your car with less effort. You can move twice as quick, in my opinion. So that is a beautiful shovel. So you need to be able to dig yourself out of a bowl, or you need to dig the hole for it.
In the morning.
Yeah, exactly. So I think a shovel is such a multi-use thing, and this is going to last for a long, long time.
Number 2. Okay,
That's
give us
number 2.
number 3 product.
Number 3, what did I actually...
Okay, number 3 product. What's our number 3 product?
Okay, number 3 product is not necessarily a product, but something you want. It's the ability to light a fire.
Okay.
So you've got striking things, you've got whatever it might be, but the ability to survive as well. So in that survival kit. So we talked about it before at the back, how in this country, it's the actual element of survival that I think is a lot more important than worrying about a spider or a shark. Knowing how to treat a snake bite kit. So I think they're 3 things, but I think more importantly, everyone should go and do a 4-wheel drive course.
Yep.
They should learn how to 4-wheel drive. Adventure off-road training in Perth, fantastic company. I learnt after 20 years how to just be better at doing it.
That's not Ronnie Dell, is it?
No, Adventure off-road training is Richard and Troy. They'll go up to Wilbinga or they'll go up the bush and do some training.
Yeah.
But they just make how to four-wheel drive very, very sensible. So people should be in control of their vehicle when they're in the outback. They should know how to survive. They should know like how to at least signal to save their lives. Simple as that. Don't go out 1,000 kilometres without knowing how to do it. And lastly, everyone should know how to leave no trace, so that shovel comes into its own, because it's the one thing that's closing down some of the most beautiful places that we've got in WA is people being a bit stupid and just not taking care of it. So leave no trace. 7 principles.
Thanks, brother.
No worries.
So, Azza, what is it about overlanding you love the most?
Oh, I think it's the adventure of overlanding in a place like Australia where it's so vast. The not knowing what's coming up, but being prepared for it.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes overlanding is that you need to be very, very, very organised, and you're in a place where the tourists will say, oh, they're scared of the sharks and the snakes and the spiders.
Yeah.
More people will die from dehydration probably than any of that put together, because we're such an aggressive nation of environment, and I just love being organised enough to be confident.
So how do you articulate that? What do you love most about overlanding? Being organised to be prepared.
Yeah, and getting to places where you feel there's a bit of discovery occurring.
Yes.
As
Now
you go
again,
on.
I think you might have mentioned that in one of your clips, in your episodes.
Because it is. It's we even people coming to the shop, back to the shop, they're discovering, and then we all like to discover, I think.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
when we're in a big place where we can go out into a very vast area and discover things, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I went up to Ningaloo last year. Now, it's been there for millennia, and tourists have been going there for centuries. We only discovered it last year, and now it's part of our, what are we going to do to get there again, and where are we going to go on the way?
Yeah.
Don't know where we're going to go, but we're going to go there, and we're going to end up here, and we're going to do some stuff there, and we're going to come back. And that's sort of, roughly how, to me, overlanding is not necessarily preparing every night's accommodation. You might know the area you're going to be in, but you can be adaptable. And one of the great overlanding trips that I think I'll call
One
it
of my
overlanding
questions,
trips.
favourite overlanding trips?
Okay. I mean, there's a few. There's some places that are now closed to access. A couple of years ago, we hopped in the car and we're heading to Mount Augustus. Now, we didn't know where we were going to stay on the way. But
Is that east of Carnarvon?
Yeah. There's
4
the
hours?
Kennedy Ranges and then Mount Augustus, yeah. And so we knew we were going to head up there, and we planned to head up there, and then situation changed. We ended up at Hopetown on the south coast, but that versatility or the ability to make changes was pretty good. And that to me is sort of a bit of overlanding is going, right, well, we're going to go there, but now we're going to pivot and we're going to go here and there, and we discovered stuff along the way that was fantastic.
So, do you have one favourite overlanding trip?
No, I don't think I do, because I'd probably repeat some of them.
Okay, which one would you repeat?
What would I repeat? Okay.
Question without notice, think fast.
Yeah, okay. There's a place just off the Canning Stock route, Carnarvon Ranges.
Did you do the Canning Stock route?
I've done the Canning in 2 parts, north and south. South just last year.
Yeah.
Watch the YouTube on it, mate.
Yeah. I might have missed that one.
But I mean, anywhere out there, I just like it all.
Okay.
I like the Great Western Woodlands. We have a great area there that you can just explore and discover new places. So, but out into the deserts is definitely the favourite type of trip. That might be the best way of putting it.
So this question, I think everyone knows the answer to this. Beach or bush? It's bush.
It's bush, traditionally bush, yeah.
Are you a scruncher or folder?
I would say more folder. I think it's more. It's a little bit from hiking. So I came from a hiking background.
Okay.
You
But rock climbing.
Well, yeah, but you got to pack less.
Yeah, pack less.
So
Okay.
folding, I think, gives a versatility compared to scrunching. You can,
Mate, some random quick questions,
Go
right?
on, okay.
So this is not about going down too deep into a rabbit warren. Quick questions, and some of them are word association.
Okay.
Favourite 3 content creators?
Okay, there's a guy in northern Italy, he's a Dutch guy called Martin Dujard, and he's doing up a couple of old stone huts in northern Italy.
Wow.
Weekly, Sundays, a bit of AMSR or whatever it is called.
What's the name of his channel?
I think it's Martin Dujard.
Martin Dujard.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
Put that on the bottom.
Yep.
Number 2?
I quite like. I'm trying to think when I've got some time at home, what do I put on? And I do like a lot. I'm a bit of an an aviation geek. I know it's another bad habit about mine, but I'll see a plane going over.
It's the plane.
It's the plane. About 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we had the A380 come over, from Dubai, and I'll get out and I'll have a watch. But there's a great live streamer. So I don't know if it's the same as content creation, but he's really funny, and so I watch him. Big Jet TV.
Big Jet TV. Number 2.
Big Jet TV.
Number 3.
Number three. I can't really think of it. There's a heap of them. There's
Just
so many.
We only need one.
No.
One more for the third one.
There's very few outdoors ones.
It's okay.
Music, F1. There's a guy from WA, Kim Illman. I watch.
Is he the guy who lives up in Lansland?
Yep.
That is wicked.
He's pretty good. He's very diverse in what he does.
Yes. He's a great content creator.
Yeah. He's pretty good.
I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, but a mate of mine who's right into F1, he put me on him. No, he's a wicked.
There's one guy actually. The one that's quite funny. We put on in the shop a lot is Fish 13.
That's 4.
Fish 13.
Fish 13. But that's 4.
Yeah.
That's 4
okay.
content
Then
creators.
let's put one in and out then.
Okay.
He's fascinating. Just funny to watch because he is a gadget man.
Okay.
He's now at the point where you can
Fish 13.
he's pushing stuff because he's getting paid to push it.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk to camera. He doesn't look at camera. He's just fascinating. There you go.
Okay. So are you a beer, wine drinker?
Beer.
What drink?
I drink wine, but beer. If I had to have one or the other, is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, beer.
Beer.
Lager.
Lager.
Has to be lager. I don't like craft beer.
Preferably, really?
Yeah, I'm not a craft beer. Now, there's a thing called the German purity law. That would be my favourite beer as a German beer.
Which one?
So there's a brewery out of Munich, St. Augustine Brewery.
St. Augustine Lager.
Well, they don't call it lager, but yeah, it's under the purity law. 4 ingredients. Beautiful. Doesn't travel well, so they don't serve it internationally.
Favourite pub meal?
I'm a chicken fanatic, and I would have to say chicken wings. With hot sauce, potentially, if that's possible. There's another one. You've just reminded me of the hot ones. I love the hot ones on YouTube.
It's called the Hot Ones?
Yeah, great.
That's what it's called, the Hot Ones?
Yep.
Okay.
Gordon Ramsay episodes to die for. It's hilarious.
Okay, so you're overlanding, you're outside.
Yep.
It can be in a camp oven, it could be hanging off a tripod. What's your favourite camp meal?
So I got this thing using our tripod.
Okay.
And an open grill. With the campfire below,
We should call Harry.
Harry knows. I told him, but I actually cooked it for him once.
Wow.
Quite a few years ago. But I call it the broast because I can't think of any other word for it. And it's a brother roast, right? It's a broast. And what you do is instead of using a camp oven, I get a wok lid and I put the contents of the meat under it. And you lift it high enough off that you then control the temperature.
No way.
Yeah, because I've done quite a few grilling courses. Grilling as in, slow cooking and all the rest of that.
So it's called a broast.
I call it the broast. I used to call it the groast, but it sounded not so
Broast.
good. So
I
the
reckon we
broast.
could Google that and find... I bet you Harry's done this.
He's done a version of it, definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not because I taught him, but because he's his mum's a chef and he's very clever cook and he's very adaptive. So, but yeah, the broast I do flat chook, dizzy chicken it's called. Dizzy chicken. So again on the tripod, quite a long hanging, and you just spin. So if you spin the grill,
Dizzy chicken.
Chicken.
Right.
And that way it cooks really evenly.
It's been a long day, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, word association.
Okay.
Self-inflating mattress.
Sleep.
Fighter fork.
Creative.
Overlanding.
Outback.
Harley Reid. If you say I'll punch you in the leg.
Harley Reid.
You're going to say who much? He's on the F.
Sportsman?
Oh!
I'm not a big sports
Oh,
person.
so which AFL side do you follow?
Uh,
Oh,
when I was young,
So much younger
I
than-
met the Cracker brothers at my
Okay.
primary school.
right.
They were playing for the Claremont Tigers.
Right.
And I've always said Claremont Tigers fan.
He didn't play for the Claremont Tigers. So this Harley
Okay.
Reid guy, right? I'm a Fremantle Dockers supporter.
Okay.
Don't hold that against me. And he tore us apart on Sunday.
Okay.
Saturday, sorry. Tore us apart on Saturday. And it seems like every radio channel, it seems like every TV channel, it seems like every bit of marketing collateral you pick up, every social,
Okay.
he's over
He's
everything.
over it, is he?
So for you, well, he's a gun.
Is he? Okay. Well, and if Ronnie and Liam do that back chat.
Yeah.
So, and
He
he's
used to-
super nice guy.
Yeah, he can play.
He can play as well, can't he?
He can play.
He's
He plays
co-captain.
AFL.
Yeah.
He's a co-captain.
Yeah,
He can
he can
play.
play.
He can play,
Yeah,
mate.
co-captain with
Yeah, it's just shame he's playing for the Eagles.
But yeah, not big into footballs.
Footballs.
In general.
All right.
Just because I'm a cockroach doesn't mean I'm a...
Last question.
Go on.
Last question. What's the vision for this business? Hang on. Yeah, you close this out by the vision for the business. We haven't talked much about your YouTube channel content.
Mm-hmm.
What's the vision for your business and your socials, including YouTube?
All right. Just for the digital side of things.
Digital,
you know?
start with digital, then we'll go to
Yeah.
business.
The vision is, I think it should be fun and informative, and there's some people doing that really well. Well, it's funny, I don't know how you do it. When I'm videoing, I'm thinking of showing this to friends who live overseas.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the time how I do it. So whether that's right, wrong, or otherwise, that's how I like to do where I'm going. I want to expand it into more, and I have just yet haven't found that right time of the day when you're camping out there enjoying it. And hats off to these content creators because it's not easy. If I go camping, I want to go camping.
Yeah.
You have to pull yourself out of it, set the shot up, do all these things. But I'd like to do more informative stuff because I think I've got a lot to tell about product.
You do.
So I'd like it to go a bit more.
I know how many threads. I know how many threads of canvas in a 1x1 piece.
Yeah, no, all the interesting stuff that people are going to fall asleep to on the couch. So that's I think on the digital side of things in terms of the YouTube. I think our Instagram channel is amongst the best on the planet, even though we're not a big following.
You got a fair few followers.
We've got 7.5.
Okay, more, okay,
Yeah,
7.5.
But you know, in terms of it's not 3 million or it's not 10,000,
Yeah.
and we're getting there. But I think Amalia, who looks after that, I reckon we've gotten the best, most entertaining insight into what we do
Yeah.
as a business.
Yeah.
Go camping and overlanding, or its thread, its tag is camping overlanding. It just shows us doing our things, new products coming out, us celebrating our 5th birthday. You know.
I saw one there, the dog. You got a dog. There's a dog. in
Yeah,
it.
we dog friendly shop. We have probably every 7th post we do a dog. So that's the I think our Instagram side of things, we may not pay as much as other people to put it in front of people. So we're not bombarding people, but people who want to follow us.
Yeah.
I think we give them really interesting content.
5 years from now, where's this business? What does this business look like in the year 2029?
I actually, I think just continuing to have products that no one else has. It doesn't have to be 10 stores or anything, because I actually don't feel the urge to scale it that much. But I would like to still be able to say, hey, yeah, we've got that product that no one else has got because they didn't know it existed, or they didn't think of it, or they didn't design it. I think I'd like to put some more Red Roads products into the market.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a few things out there. After 5 years of asking everyone what they want, I think there's a big amount of opportunities for some new products out there that are great, certainly the restaurant customer, to go and use. You know, it's swags is one of these things that we sell swags, but it blows my mind how many people buy swag, yet the same common complaint about the swag. So there might be a little bit of something in my mind there. There you go.
There's your little release.
Hey, well, it might take a while to get there though.
Mate,
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
I've really, much to the disgust of my wife, because when I walked into your shop, she's going, will you just shut up, get in the car, can we go? I think we'd been here for an hour.
It was a long initiative.
It was a
It was good fun though.
I mean,
It's what we're here for.
really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, mate. Thank you.
Okay, bye for now.
See you later.
Bye. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. We're for now.